close and personal.
Okay, so we're up close and personal. I just want to talk about right hand picking technique. Okay, listen. This is called alternate picking. I'm going up and down. Now, there's a few things I want to cover on this. The reason I've gone all up close and personal is because I want to look at this hand, how it works, where it's positioned, how you hold the pick, and what you're doing when you're kind of going. Okay. So the first thing, let's have a look at how we hold the pick. There's no right or wrong, but what I suggest you do, and this is a suggestion, make a loose fist, put the pick in like that. Now, this is what the strings get hit by. If it's like that, it's going to go boink, okay? If it's in there, then there's nothing to hit the strings with. So you've got to find a happy medium that's comfortable for you. Now, some players play with the fist closed. Some have their fingers open, some are in the middle, some rest their fingers on there. I'm not really going to criticise or judge anyone's technique. You know, if it works and it works for you, and you know you can play what you want to play, great, let's do it. But just find this place where you've got a good string attack. Okay, so it's not all floppy pick like, because all you hear is the pick actually going across the strings. You don't hear the notes come out. Okay. Another thing to bear in mind is the pick itself. Now this is a Jim Dunlop 1.5. It's pretty thick, and I find it pretty good for the rock stuff because you can really dig in. But if you use a light pick, I've got a like a sort of a medium pick here. The flexibility in the pick means that what's going to happen is if you're playing fast stuff, the energy of the string is going to get dissipated by the pick bending. So when you're doing this kind of stuff, you can see, look, before I even pick the note, the string's bending. And the lighter the pick that you use, have I got a thin one really? Yeah, here's a really thin one. I love these on acoustic because you get that kind of, and it works for some stuff. It depends on your tone, but it's just something to bear in mind. You've got to choose a pick that's going to work for you, okay? These super thin ones, look at that bending before I've even hit the note. If I try and play fast, you know, there's all the energy of the movement getting lost in the pick bending. That's why I like to use a thicker one for this. Okay, you get the idea. So that's important. Experiment with a few different picks, you know, find one that you like. Find one where your hand is going to fit, find a position where your hand is going to fit on the guitar body, where your arm and everything is comfortable. And just see what feels comfortable for you. You know, do what's right for you. Don't try to copy everybody, you know, and look at someone and go, oh, I'll try that. You know, give it a go, but if it doesn't work, don't worry about it. Now, there's a lot of elements to picking that I just want to touch on here. The first one is actually where you position your hand. In a previous video, in part of this series, I talked about not having your hand kind of hovering over the guitar because it's very difficult to be accurate and maintain any kind of, you know, sort of, what do you call it? I've forgotten the word, but if I remember it, I'm going to email it to you. Anyway, so what I want you to think about is get this relaxed and comfortable. Now, this alternate picking is down, up, down. Now, if you're new to this, this is going to feel really weird, really clunky. You know, it's going to feel a bit strange. But what I want you to do is just think about relaxing, hold the pick firmly. You don't have to beat the string up, you know. You just, because the amplifier, if you want it louder, you just turn the amp up. That's the beauty of the electric guitar. You just turn your amp up. So it's not about killing the strings. You only want to make contact. You only need to make contact with the top part of the pick. So find a place where it's comfy. Okay, Now the movement is coming from my wrist. Watch my wrist here. I'm not doing this, moving my whole arm, just my wrist is moving, okay? Now, if I try to play all the strings like this, my hand is moved as well as my arm, okay? I'm not trying to do this and tilt my wrist and then this is bent, okay? What's happening is the whole thing's moving. It's really subtle, but it works. Okay, so what's happening is I'm doing up and down strokes. Just do it really light until you get into the hang of it, really light strokes. And then work your way down the strings. Really basic stuff. Don't try to go fast. If it feels weird, the upstroke's probably going to catch you out. And then, you know, just gradually get into a flow of it. And what will happen is if you do that, and you know, I'm not saying to you you've got to do this for 4 hours a day or anything crazy like that. No one's got time for that, unless you want to be the next, you know, Steve Vai or Joe Satriani or something, and you know, and you're going to really, you know, go for it. But you only need to do this for a couple of minutes. Just really relax. Next one. Okay, and then gradually that'll speed up and you'll get more tone out of your strings. Okay, so there's a lot of subtle little things going on here. It's about arm positioning, relaxed hand, relaxed wrist, holding the pick firmly, but also making good contact with the pick and the string. Okay, and then moving the hand. So what I want you to do is, if you think about the exercise we talked about for the left hand, where you're just doing this kind of basic, if you're working on your left hand and you haven't got any speed but you want to develop that, then you can down pick to start with. It doesn't matter. Okay? But if you want to do this, because as the speed builds up, you end up like this. And this hand's working twice as hard as it needs to. When really, all you need to do is, okay, really subtle stuff. I know that you know, some of this might be really basic for some people, but you know, if it's helping you, then you know, I'm really pleased. Okie dokie. So look, I know some of this is really basic stuff, you know, like how you sit and how you hold your hands and picking and all this kind of stuff. But you know, I really hope it's helping you if you're new to the guitar, if you're a struggling beginner, or maybe there's little things that you've tried to do and a part of your technique is letting you down. You know, maybe you can play chords already. You know, you're good at all this kind of stuff. You know, fine. But maybe it's this letting you down, and maybe it's something simple like you're not, you know, you haven't found the right pick for you yet. So, you know, little things like that, just experiment, have fun with it. You know, it's all about really just practicing, bringing it together, relaxing, and, you know, enjoying it. And, you know, just try a few different things, a few different techniques. You know, positioning there, if that feels more comfortable. You know, just experiment with it. But don't be tempted to kind of sprint past doing all the really basic stuff. If something's letting you down, just work on it. You know, 5 minutes a day. And in a month or so, you know, that month is going to happen anyway. If you keep practicing badly, in a month, you're still going to sound the same. If you just take 5 minutes a day to work on that and be disciplined and just go, okay, look, you know, and put the telly on, just watch TV, you know, sit there and just, you know, if you, half an hour could go and you'll have 30 minutes of that under your practice. Imagine how awesome you are going to be when you've discovered the picking technique of the century. Seriously, give it a try. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Like before, you know, any questions, just get in touch. Love to hear from you, and I hope this is all working for you. Thank you. See you soon.